This is going to be really bad, or it's going to be kicked down the road.
They'll be all right. They'll be fine.
The Mets or Kodai Senga?
Kodai will be fine. The Mets will be fine.
God.
It's all about how you react to the situation. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but let's say it's the worst news and he's out for the season. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
Then you react. Go sign Jordan Montgomery. Let's go Yankee Mets. LGYM.
Yeah, listen. I do think that it's interesting because I saw some of your stuff with the Mets, kind of in line with Evan, that you are, a little more bullish on the prospects of these guys having a decent season.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I'd like to see it. I would like to have, around the horn, competitive, really good baseball for both the Yanks and the Mets. I think the Mets are obviously rebuilding. I think that this roster, when the Mets pop, will be nowhere near what it is. Like the roster this year will not be anything close to what it's going to be when they actually build it the way Stearns wants to. But tell us, as we wait for the Senga stuff, and Hoff is on top of this, tell us why. I want to know why. I'm going to lay out. Yeah. And I can't believe that you're going to concoct some positive, potion. I hope you're right.
It doesn't sound right coming from me. I know it doesn't sound right coming from me. I'm a Yankee boy, Yankee shill, whatever. But these are my Mets. The Make It Happen Mets. I dubbed them the Make It Happen Mets when they won 101 games. That wasn't that long ago. They still have that core. They still have a lot of those guys. They have a lot of young guys trying to prove that they belong. They have a lot of guys on one-year deals trying to prove that they belong in Major League Baseball, fighting for their careers. And when expectations are low, how can you fail? David Stearns doesn't fail. He builds winners. I mean, out in Wisconsin. But I think he's going to do the same thing here. I don't think that he's looking to punt on the season, as people are talking about. I don't think because they had a change in philosophy as far as going out and spending $40 million a year on 40-year-old pitchers that all of a sudden, they're not trying to win. No, he made some crafty moves, and I think when you get all of these guys together in camp and they know what the expectations are, nothing, they're competitors. When they walk across that chalked white line, they're going to say, let's play. Let's prove some people wrong. Pete Alonso's got a lot to prove. Francisco Lindor's the leader of this team. He's made his money, but he's still got a lot to prove. Starling Marte, come back and be great. Jeff McNeil, return to form. Brandon Nimmo, you're out of center field, but here comes Harrison Bader. You guys can be a great tandem. Luis Severino, prove that you still have it. Sean Manaea, Jose Quintana, Francisco Alvarez, Brett Beatty, the baby Mets. These guys will prove something to everybody this year.
I like the optimism. I got a few things to volley back. One sec, though. Hold on. What do we have with the Mets here with David Stearns? What's going on with Senga?
is live tweeting. Kodai Senga has a moderate right posterior capsule strain in his shoulder, David Stearns said.
In his shoulder?
He then followed up with the Mets' plan to shut down Senga until his symptoms subside. They do not expect him to be ready for opening day, but an exact timeline is not currently clear.
In his okay.
It's the shoulder, not the elbow. So
shoulder's worse. Shoulder is 100% worse for a pitcher. It's not even close. All right. This is not good news. I'm not saying it's the most ominous news. But
I was going to say, don't make it too bad.
I'm not, Keith. I really wish I didn't have to do this. This is bad. Understand what's happening here, guys. It is February 21st. It's not March 21st. It's not last year.
22nd, but
my bad. Thank you. Just I missed the day. Usually I miss more.
I was
than
on
a day.
last night. It was the 21st.
Okay,
so
all right.
I'm on it.
The 22nd. So, but usually, when it's something smallish and it's toward the start of the season, it bothers you because there's not a lot of time to recover, but it's not incredibly bad. It's February 22nd. The general manager felt compelled to hold a live press conference in the dugout the next day at 10 in the morning and just told you that Kodai Senga will be shut down and not ready for opening day. That is horrible news.
Don't panic, though.
Horrible.
Panic. It's how you react to it. It's not what happens to you in life. It's how you react to these things. I get it. He's an all-star from last year. He's projected to be your ace. Someone will rise, or maybe now King Cohen. Right?
Not allowed on the show anymore.
That's what you guys used to say here.
That's what we used to say. Now, if Cohen actually does something, the crown can be restored. Okay. Me and Sal have this. Now he's Steve Cohen.
Moneybag Co. and the Make It Happen Mets. That's what I call him. Step up. Go sign Jordan Montgomery today. You got Boris's number?
Yeah, they do.
Make it happen, Mets.
Let me throw this at you. BT and Sal, Keith is sitting in here, 877-337-6666 inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Keith, and I mean this in all sincerity. I appreciate, forget about the Senga stuff for a second, which I unfortunately believe is bad. Not bad.
Could be bad.
It could be. I unfortunately think it's going to be bad, and I really hope that I'm wrong. But forget about that. All the other stuff that you said. I appreciate the optimistic slant, and it's not delusional. Like, yeah, I mean, McNeil's hit 325 before. He's a hitter.
Batting champ.
No doubt. Marte's a solid player. Stay healthy. All the things that Keith just said, it's not preposterous to think that some of them can happen. This rotation is awful. It's terrible.
You're thinking Luis Severino is going to look like how he looked last year with the Yankees.
I actually think Louis does bounce back a little bit. I do think because with the tipping, like his
Jose Quintana, you're not high on?
I'm okay with him, but if Senga, like, it's just the whole pecking order. Like, I really like Senga. Don't love him as an ace. Right now, he's not even there. So number 2, and I fear he won't be there for a while. So number 2 ascends to number 1. Number 2 should really be a 4. You're not beating the Braves. Who are you beating?
You're not beating the Braves
you're
regardless.
Beating the Phillies? Yeah.
I just think that now you have to pivot. Now you go use that money that you have the richest owner in the sport for, and you say, okay, emergency. Our ace is not going to be available for opening day, and Jordan Montgomery just won a World Series. He's familiar with New York. He literally fits the mold of all the Yankees that you signed under Carlos Mendoza, former Yankee. I'm sure they know each other. Go out and get him. Plug him in. And then things feel a little bit better going into opening day.
Okay. Now, listen, I've been okay. I think there's been pockets of frustration, and I'm not even a Mets fan, but I've been frustrated, like, at most of the inactivity with the Mets this offseason. However, Keith, I've also said, I get the big picture. If you really want to build this out and find your own Austin Riley and Acuna and, get somebody like Matt, although Pete's very good, obviously, but Olsen, the core of the Braves and all that they have, you've got to do this organically. You've got to reset. You've got to reestablish a pipeline of minor league activity. I think Stearns' play is very good long term. This year could be tough. Do you think, though, if Cohen, let's say it's really bad with Senga. Let's say if my instincts are right, and I hope I'm not. But if it is, do you think that Cohen's going to flex now and all of a sudden say, like, all right, Montgomery, here's 150. Trevor Bauer, here's 1 year, $7-8 million. Well, I mean, despite the PR hit. I don't know if Cohen will even flip even if he has to. Do you?
I think that now you use that superpower. That's your strongest asset. That's the whole thing that you used to do, and you went away from it. Philosophy change. Okay, we're going back to it, right? This is my team. And now we don't have Kodai Senga. Maybe they want Blake Snell. No, they're not going to get Blake Snell. All the Yankee fans are like, Keith, wait. Last night we were sure Blake Snell was signing with the Yankees.
I saw those reports, those fake ones. I was getting excited, too. I actually think Blake Snell's coming at some point.
It's Yankees Twitter. It's fake life. Social media is not real.
Nope.
You guys fall for anything, but you have the owner that money, it doesn't matter, and this is a good fallback plan, right? The fact that Jordan Montgomery's still available, he might even be so pissed off at the Yankees that he relishes this opportunity. Mm-hmm. I'd be on the phone. I'd at least be on the phone with Scott Boras today.
100%. Okay. Listen, if you're just tuning in, and again, I want to stay in my lane. I want to be responsible. That's always what we strive to do, but we got to react. And David Stearns just told you it's not the elbow. I thought it was going to be the elbow. I'm thinking arm fatigue, the elbow, which, if it's forearm tightness, historically, generally a precursor to Tommy John. It's not that. It's the shoulder. The shoulder capsule is far more delicate, far more unpredictable in terms of if there is a surgical procedure. If you're a pitcher and you have the option of elbow or shoulder, you take the elbow 1,000 out of 1,000 times over the shoulder. It's the shoulder, and your GM just told you that your ace will not be ready for opening day.
But it's not Tommy
Where's
John.
The positivity? So... No, I know it's not. But you'd prefer Tommy John because with the shoulder, I don't even want to go down.
But it's a strain.
Go ahead.
I just think that with a shoulder strain, this is something they could rehab, regain the strength in a month and a half. Maybe he just misses the first month of the season. Maybe he's able to regain the strength. I think this is what happens when you have been off for so much, so many months, and you start to throw again, and you start to torque it up. It's like, wait. I think this is something that, like, they might have actually dodged missing him the whole year, but now it makes you act. Maybe Trevor Bauer, maybe Jordan Montgomery. I'm not ready to hit the panic button, but I think that this is going to raise the sense of urgency in Mets land. But they're used to this. DeGrom 2 years ago.
They're used to it. Sounds comforting.
They're used to this. DeGrom 2 years ago, Verlander last year. They're used to going into camp, and their ace is hurt as soon as he starts to throw.
That's true. All right, let's get to you. 877-337-6666, 1012 on the Fan. BT and Sal. Keith is sitting in. Let me get Frankie on Long Island. What's going on, Frankie? You're on the Fan. How are you?
Hey, boys, listen, I think the Mets are just completely screwed. This is, horrible. I feel like if the Mets don't go out and get a Jordan Montgomery or a Blake Snell or a Trevor Bauer, they are done. This is, no new news to me, but this is just horrible, what's going on.
It's depressing, dude. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
You can't even. It's. I won't say it's exactly the same with Rodgers and the Jets, but I mean, geez, can you get off the starting block before things start coming at you?
I'm not leaning into it. Not today. Nope, not today, Mets fans. Make it happen. It's okay. I expected this to happen with the Yankees. Honestly, it happened with Carlos Rodon last year. I've said it on the fan. I'm like, this is what happens in the first week. Somebody's gonna get hurt. I mean, the Yankees find out about Scott F. Ross and Lou Trevino and whatever.
Yeah.
But it sucks because Kodai Senga is expected to be your ace. But you have an owner that can fix this problem tonight.
You do, in theory. Has he shown you any glimpses recently that something's coming?
Clearly, he's fallen back. Clearly, he's letting his president of baseball operations run the show, but he owns the team.
Mm-hmm.
He can step in and say, okay, you know what? We didn't make a big splash. They think we're punting on the season. Let's throw our fan base a bone. Kodai Senga is hurt. Now let's go out and sign Jordan Montgomery or even take a flyer on Trevor Bauer. Or, I don't know, David Stearns, make a trade for somebody. But let's not just say, oh, we're going to go and we're going to elevate Joey Lucchesi or Tyler McGill or David Peterson. Because right now you look at their rotation and you think that's the weakness of the team.
Yes, absolutely I do. There's no question. Let me get Frank up in Yonkers. BT and Sal, what's going on, Frank?
Hi, I was gonna talk about the Kodai Senga situation. That guy basically said what I was gonna say. This guy should go out and sign Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell, somebody, because the rotation is weak.
Yeah,
it's
bad. It's bad. I don't think, Frankie. I don't think that, and Keith obviously, I don't think that Blake Snell makes any sense for the Mets.
They're not going to go after Blake Snell, but Jordan Montgomery,
yes.
I know they're not going to get him, but Jordan Montgomery they should go out and get. Their rotation is weak. Who would have thought we would have said that 3 years ago, that their rotation is weak, right?
I feel bad because we had the Edwin Diaz thing last year as well going into the season, and it's like they can't dodge a bullet. It's like something like I already said, DeGrom, Verlander, and now here we go with Kodai Senga, but I don't want it to be so much doom and gloom, rain on the parade, typical Mets, waiting for the other shoe to drop. The sky is always falling. No, this is supposed to be a new era. This is supposed to be David Stearns Mets. This is supposed to be, I don't want to call him king, Uncle Steve's Mets. Go out there and do what you can to fix the situation.
I appreciate the resilience that I know some Met fans are putting on right now and mustering up. I did it with Rodgers. I had no choice. I get it. When you're a fan of a team that just doesn't reward you that much and things go awry at this point before the season, this far in advance of the first game, it's so deflating.
Learn from the Jets.
Yeah, well, but the Jets didn't have a good season. What are you going to learn?
Because Aaron Rodgers goes down in 4 plays and you rest on your laurels and you say, yep, Zach Wilson gives us the best opportunity to win.
So make some moves that the Jets didn't make.
You can't let that happen.
Yeah.
Step up.
You know what worries me, though, Keith? And I get that. Listen, maybe they will. Maybe it's a Bauer. Maybe it's a Montgomery. I'd be fine with that. But back to Senga for a second. Even if Kodai Senga right now was 100% healthy, there's still an issue with him being the ace. He pitched 166 innings a year ago. Manipulate the off day, 6 days in Japan, 5 here, different baseball.
Slope of the mound. He had an adjustment, obviously.
Yeah. And he pitched incredibly well. I think Senga's awesome. I mean, sure. I think he's legitimately, now Sal disagrees, but I think Kodai Senga can be, I really mean this, a number 2 on a World Series team. That's how much, I like Kodai Senga. But as your one where, the availability every 5 days and going deep because of the pitch limit inning or the innings limit, now GM's telling he's not even going to be ready for opening day.
Well, I thought he was going to be a number 2 this year to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yeah. I listened to this show, and I was sure Yamamoto was coming to Queens.
That part of the studio. Stick it to your boy Sal. Don't throw that not on my doorstep. I thought he was going to the Bronx.
If they were willing to pay $325 million to Yamamoto, don't you still have that money to use on somebody else?
You do, and it's a great point. Sal brings it up, but here's what people miss. The 320, I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds of the finances, but the short version is this. If you're giving Yamamoto 325, yes, you've got literally 325 that you're willing to spend. I agree. Everybody gets it. That's a basic concept. But with Yamamoto coming, it's more like 150 mil because the Japanese revenue stream that comes in offsets a massive chunk of the contract. If you sign Montgomery, I mean, he's good. He'll make you better. I don't see advertisers rushing.
You get the Yankee revenue stream. We'll come to Citi Field and root on our Yankee Mets. LGYM, let's go Yankee Mets.
Oh, he's sticking it to you already. Look at him. He's sticking with a smile. Listen, he's trying to come in a little soft. Not softer, but a little different approach.
These are my
to the
Mets.
middays.
I've never been more familiar with the Mets team. I've never watched the Mets as much as I have been the last 3 years.
I don't know anybody who makes more fun of him than you on social media. And I get the rep as the Met hater. This guy's always hitting them. BT and Sal Keith is hanging with me today. Good to have him in. Let's get back to you. Lawrence is a big New York guy out in Oklahoma. Lawrence, what's happening, buddy?
This is like the most Mets thing ever to have happen. And I was just making the comparison before with Danielle that the Jets and the Mets have this thing where you think things are going to go smoothly and nothing goes smoothly. But to Keith's point, there is no expectation for this team, so it kind of makes things fun. You know what? This is a circus. And no one's a Mets fan because we're good. No one's a Mets fan because we win. We're all Mets fans because we enjoy pain. And, strap in, ladies. Let's get it.
Oh, my God.
I thought it was supposed to be different now. I thought this was a different era now, right? I thought you had the new George Steinbrenner. I thought that this was the new gold standard of baseball. Then go be that. Go do that. This is different now. You've got the black jerseys back. You had Old Timers Day. There's a statue outside of Citi Field now. Go be that. You can. I believe in you. LGYM.
Retired Kuzman's number. Retired Keith's number. Doc and Daryl getting their day this year.
Yeah, we can't ruin Doc and Daryl's day this year.
I was joking with Sal. I'm like, we get a little pinstripe up there for Doc and Daryl and a little half Yankee.
Yeah, I might have to show up to Citi Field for those. It's more Yankee Met energy. We are with you guys. We're not laughing at you guys.
I'm definitely not. I'm lamenting the season that the Met fan is staring at right now because I've been there with my teams and it's the worst and it's demoralizing and it's deflating and it's almost as if it feels like it's never going to end. Think about this. And you said it. Last year was Diaz. Verlander was Scherzer was last year. Verlander and Scherzer both injured before opening day. Diaz obviously went down
2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Can this team catch a break? It's a joke. All right, 877.
On brand.
877-337-6666.